Okay, so today we're going to look at mean from a table, but this time it's with grouped data. Now what I mean by grouped data is that instead of just having a single, I have 1 pet, 2 pets, 3 pets, 4 pets, etc. These, the times, we're talking about time today, is given in these what we call groups, okay? Sometimes they're called groups, sometimes they are called class intervals, okay? Oh, it would help if I could spell it. So what this means is, if we look at this table, so it says Bob asked each 40 friends how many minutes they took to get to work. The table shows some information about his results. So what this means is 3 people took between 0 and 10 minutes. 8 people, 8 of Bob's friends, took between 10 and 20 minutes. 11 people took between 20 and 30 minutes. 9 people took between 30 and 40 minutes. And 9 people took between 40 and 50 minutes. And the question asks us to work out an estimate for the mean time taken. Now it's an estimate because we don't know how many minutes exactly each of the people took. So these 3 people could have all taken 2 minutes because that's between 0 and 10 minutes. They could have all taken 9.5 minutes, okay? Or one of them could have taken 1 minute, one of them could have taken 7 minutes, and one of them could have taken 8 minutes, for example, okay? So that's why it's an estimate. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to add 2 columns onto our table, and the first one is going to be called the midpoint. Now, we are taking the midpoint because we don't know how long these people actually took. So these 3 people, we don't know how long they took. We instead take the middle of 0 to 10. So halfway between 0 and 10 is 5. We then take halfway between 10 and 20. Halfway between 10 and 20, the midpoint of 10 to 20 is 15. The midpoint of this class interval between 20 and 30 is 25. And halfway between 30 and 40 is 35. And halfway between 40 and 50 is 45. Now, if it's not obvious what the midpoint is, so it's not obvious what's halfway between 0 and 10, if you add the 2 numbers, so you add 0 and 10, 0 plus 10 makes 10, and then half it makes 5, that's your midpoint. 10 add 20 makes 30, half of 30, 15. 25 add 30 is 50, half of 50 is 25, and so on and so forth. Okay, right, we are then going to do midpoint times our frequency. So you take your midpoint, which is 5, and you times it by your frequency, 3. So that means 3 people took approximately 5 minutes. 8 people took approximately 15 minutes, and it's approximately because we've used the midpoint. 11 people took approximately 25 minutes. 9 people took approximately 35 minutes, and 9 people took approximately 45. Now you'll notice I've accidentally just mixed around which way I ordered times them. It doesn't matter. We're doing our midpoint times our frequency. It doesn't matter what order you times them in. Okay, so we can then use your calculators on this. So 5 times 15, hopefully we know, 5 times 3, sorry, is 15. 15 times 8 is 120. 11 times 25 is 275. 35 times 9 is 315. And 9 times 45 is 405. Okay? You then add all of these up, because this is like having all of those in a list. It's like having the number 5 3 times. It's like having the number 15 8 times, etc. Okay? So we add those up, and we get 1,130. So that's how many, that's the total amount. So if I wrote all his 40 friends down and added each of their times up, that would be what I got. And then we're going to divide by however many people there are. Now, however many people there are is the total frequency, which should be 40 because it's been told us in the question that it's 40 friends, but we could just check 3 plus 8 plus 11 plus 9 plus 9 equals 40. Okay? So then to calculate the mean, I'm going to do 1,130 divided by 40. Okay, 1,130 divided by 40 gives us average 28.25, and it's in minutes. Now this is an average time, so just check that your average makes sense. Is that time between 0 and 50 minutes? Because that's the least amount of time and that's the most amount of time that anybody took. Is it between those times? Yes, it is. So that seems logical. And that is how you do mean from a grouped frequency table.